We're over here at Tigbauan, and I'm checking out some of the local community, this sweet church, and just an overall area on the way to go see a bunch of beach stuff. We're in the public market, and I'm picking myself up a cool set of flip-flops. Hello, this is Mellow Jean.
Yeah.
And she bought me these, she gave me these cool flip-flops. Well, not gave me, I bought them. But she gave me a very reasonable price. I didn't get the usual tax I think I get. So if you're over here at the public market, check out her place. She's got a bunch of cool flip-flops. Municipality of Tigbauan. Ooh, it's a little wet today. Hello, how are you? Yeah, just checking it out. Beautiful city. It's, in fact, I would say the most vibrant town in the South. The Philippine Veterans Legion in one Tigbauan. Talk about a cool building face.
That is actually cool.
Yeah, bro. Sick. Sweet church. This is the Tigbauan church. Really cool. It had like a Mexican or Latin feel to the design, which I really dug. And these murals were super neat. They had like made out of a bunch of different little stones. Tigbauan was the first city we encountered going from Iloilo to San Joaquin. And the church was super nice, the market was cool, but the church was really outstanding, the design. It had this big, open, airy feel. You know, you gotta think, when these things were created, there was no air conditioning, or fans for that matter. So everything was just had to be open for the airflow. As you can see, the design is just so intricate, and all these little paintings you're seeing up there, like I said, they're not paintings, they're made with like small tiles of different shapes in order to create the picture. I always love these churches that I find when I'm going out and about. This one says, Jesus speaks to the women. If it was good enough for Jesus, why aren't you speaking to the women? I really dug this little kind of inlet they had too, with a little prayer station and an area for holy water. I said the stones were just really awesome. A lot of like coral style colors. And the interior of the stone much more well maintained than the exterior. Here you had the room where people light their candles while they're praying. I didn't get to see anybody actually do it in person, but pretty self-explanatory. Here's the courtyard. Definitely could use some maintenance, but wow, is it impressive. Still, even knowing that it needs some maintenance, it's still just really amazing to see. You even have the cool bell tower up here. Oh, talk about a real nice find. Along the way, saw this little for sale 2 hectares. Look at how beautiful this is. The Philippines is just so amazing. A little spot here along the side of the road.
And I severely doubt these people got copyright permission from DC and Marvel, but that's okay, because this is the Philippines. And it looks like we are here in Guimbal or Guimbal. Got Thor over there, Hulk, got everyone. It says, welcome aboard Exact Training Center. So it turned out that was actually a training center for their like maritime employees and kind of overseas worker. I couldn't record inside. They have, like they're worried about legal liabilities and whatnot. But I'll tell you what, they have a super cool training center there. They had a little submarine rigged out. Seemed like they have all the boats, pretend boats. So that way you can practice unloading and offloading and all the good Navy stuff. But overall, really cool to go inside. Kind of a little sad I couldn't film it for you guys, but pretty cool. Here we are further into the town of Guimbal. Even though I know I'm saying it wrong, it is what it is. But look at this infrastructure and development. Got the old style church here. I'm assuming from Spanish colonialization. Beautifully manicured park. Shame the fountain isn't on. I'm always surprised at all these little towns you got out here, when you would think that the development of the region wouldn't really be up to par. They'll go ahead and surprise you with stuff like this, which is, I couldn't imagine being back in rural Indiana, driving down the side of the road and then finding something like this. I just don't think it would exist. Yet here in the Philippines, you drive down the side of the road and you just run into random stuff that's super impressive and cool. Looks like you got a little sporting center here and an area for plays and live music and shows. There you go, Guimbal, our little hometown, the town of the rising sun and suns.
Next up along the coastline was the town of Miagao, and they had the city center, which is like a huge square around the Miagao church with a bunch of restaurants and shops and a 7-Eleven and, you know, all the regular stuff in the town, all surrounding this church. The church is super neat and huge, really huge. You can kind of see it's got like a Roman vibe to it and kind of a fortress feel. The towers on the sides kind of look like watchtowers, and the stones, they're gigantic. They're just huge. And this is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so it's protected and internationally recognized. Once again, I love stopping by these churches. Huge amounts of history, extremely ornate detail. This one really gave me like a Roman or like medieval kind of vibe to it. The colors of like coral, limestone. Couldn't tell really what other materials were used in the main construction, but it was definitely Just the scale of the stone alone was extremely impressive. Once again, you know, you look at the outside and you can kind of see the decay and just the fact that this is such an old building on the exterior, but they managed to like re-facade all the interior, add in fans for ventilation for when they have church services, and really keep the interior to look very pristine, very brand new looking, very classy. That dichotomy of images is really something. Now, we didn't spend too much time in Miagao. It was kind of just stopping off, getting some drinks at the 7-Eleven and checking out this church before we made our way further down the road. But the church itself, very impressive.
Check out this view here in San Joaquin. Here we are at the park right outside the church, which we'll be going into shortly. As you can see, Ahoy, San Joaquin. What is that guy's name? Joaquin Phoenix? So maybe it's Joaquin. But look at the balls on that bull. That's another thing I love here about the Philippines. They do anatomically correct statues. They ain't messing around trying to pretend that a bull ain't a bull. And over here, looks like you got the basketball court and the multi-purpose center pretty much every barangay has. I'll tell you what, a lot of these islands you could just walk around or drive along the coastline and you'll find something cool. As you can see, we've been driving just a little bit. We've already had multiple places that are just sharp as a knife. Really entertaining to walk around into. Do you have a multi-purpose center in your township that looks this cool? So you gotta keep in mind, each barangay is like its own township. Meanwhile, you've got just such amazing buildings in a relatively tiny area. And then this kind of looks like that statue from, what was it, Dogma? It's kind of got that feel to it, which I think is pretty funny. Really good movie. Kevin Smith as a person I'm not a fan of, but I do enjoy some of his movies. So as you can see, these guys are hard at work.
This artwork is actually about the Spanish conquest over the Moors. Once again, the San Joaquin Church is just another example of beautiful Spanish churches throughout the Philippines. This art you're seeing on the upper portion of the walls is like 3D sculptures mounted. Very expressive, and like the 3D texture when you're there in person really adds to the just overall vibe of the church and the splendor. Unfortunately, shortly after the church, my phone ended up dying and I didn't have my charger with me, unfortunately. But outside of this, you have really cool view of the ocean, a park area where a lot of the kids seem like they go play. They look like they were building a brand new pavilion for, you know, concerts and gatherings and events. So once again, the town really incorporates this church into its community. I really enjoyed my trip along the coastline from Iloilo to San Joaquin. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along for the ride. See you guys in the next video.